Hey, what's up, guys? Well, I finally did it. Finally did the room tour video. Man, that took a while. Had so many issues to deal with, but got it done. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions about anything, or if you want to get more information about anything, I will leave a link in the description that leads to a page on my website with basically everything. Just well, almost everything in the room. So you guys can take a look through that. If you have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments about anything. So without further ado, let's get it. Here we go. Finally, a room tour that I promised you guys. This is just the room for scale. It's a really small room. It's only about 10 feet by 10 feet. And as you can see, it's full with stuff. So we're just gonna go through it quickly. Let me just close the door because it's like about 4:30 in the morning. I'm trying not to make too much noise. Alright, so as you can see, I'm still a child at heart. Yeah, this is my remote control SUV. Underneath we got my FANATEC Formula Carbon. As you can see, so carbon fiber, the real carbon fiber. And man, I like this. I really like this room. Underneath that we got the BMW. I think it's a GT2 rim, I believe. I actually had some of these things marked down on the paper, printed on a paper. That's for the specs. This is actually what got me into sim racing. This was the very first wheel I've ever bought to play with Gran Turismo on my PlayStation 2. As you can see, back in those days, I didn't know anything about sim racing, so I thought a wheel was a wheel. This had no force feedback. Is literally like a rubber band. And after I tried it once for like about 10 minutes, if not even 10 minutes, I couldn't use it at all because 90 degrees of turning on this was like a full lock on the car in any given direction. So totally undrivable. Then after I found out about the Inside Sim Racing, which you Cole and Darren Ganji, I found those guys after some digging, and then I it just so happened that it was just started doing a review on the Logitech G27, so I bought this one, and this was one of my best purchases ever. I have the arm shifter in the cupboard as well. By the way, sorry, but I have to rush this because this phone could only record like about 10 minutes at a time, so you have to take this in sections. Up here, some of my favorite things is actually my headphone collection. I have a few headphones up here. DJ headphones, different type of headphones, AKG, Cloud Revolver, a few different ones, even Bluetooth earbuds, and one of my favorite Bluetooth speakers ever, the Vava Voom 21 Bluetooth speaker. But yeah, it's hard to get this now. You have to, as I say, sorry, but I have to rush. So yeah, my PSP in its original case. I really like this. I don't use it much, of course, but I just like having it. Some of my games and movies. My handy Zoom H1 recorder, which I'm actually using right now with my usual headset that you would see me use on my stream. I have it plugged into this right now, so I can walk around. BL Mobile. Yeah, here I have my trusty Canon 90D. I love this camera. And my DT D3, I think it's a VMic, some Pro, D3 Pro or something like that. I will have all of these. Everything is listed on my website. Everything. I'll have a link to the website, and you guys will see everything on the website because I'm just gonna be running through this really quickly. Right now I have a 10 to 18 millimeter lens on it. Right now this is a wide angle lens. Really, really nice lens. This is the 18 to 55 kit lens, which is pretty good actually, and a 50 millimeter, which is really, really nice for that creamy bokeh, creamy background. Here we have more headphones, a few more headphones again. And this one is one of my favorites. This thing is crazy. 12 speakers, 2 dedicated for bass only. It is crazy. It shakes your head like, wow. This massages your brain. A typical Xbox controller. Here's my Canovo dolly, camera dolly, with a Manfrotto ball head. If you're into camera gear, I guess that's pretty decent, pretty nice gear actually. Here I have my 2 FANATEC Studio Pro soft boxes that I bought a while back. And over here, one of my favorite things, because I'm a serious bass head, my 2 12-inch JBL speakers in a band pass box. This is usually my car. Well, my car is sold now, so I'm keeping it for the next one. This is my foldable Odyssey table. This folds up. This was actually for my DJ equipment, which we'll get to in a bit. Yeah, so I was kind of like a wedding DJ back in the day. Have a lot of, I'm a very loud guy. I love bass. I like to shake my house, so yeah. Anyway, these are the 3 Dell monitors that was on the rig originally. These are Dell S2740L monitors, IPS monitors, really nice monitors, crispy colors. On top of it, we got Blue Yeti Blackout Edition microphone on a Rode PSA1 boom arm, and what is this one? A Knox Gear shock mount. If you guys read, for those of you who know, the original shock mount for this microphone is, to me, it's a bloody ugly. It's kind of ugly. It's like a big round disc. It's just too big. It's just ridiculous. So this was the neatest one I could find. In fact, I was thinking about probably painting this in black, because the silver kind of stands out. But anyway, minor stuff. Here we have one of my favorite keyboards ever. This is the Logitech K810. Really nice Bluetooth keyboard and Bluetooth mouse as well. This is the MX Master mouse from Logitech as well. Both of these really nice pairing together. Both of these could connect 3 devices with the click of a button. Really nice. So I just have to click one button, and I could just touch one button and use it to connect it to one. Maybe let's say my gaming PC. Same thing with the mouse. I can just touch the other one, connect it to my streaming PC. Same thing with the mouse, and then probably use the third one for like a tablet or something. So these are the satellite speakers for my Logitech Z2300 2.1 system. Sound system, man, that thing is. This is one of the most sought after Logitech systems ever. It is ridiculous. This thing is loud. It shakes the house. Believe it or not. It's pretty tough, hard to get right now. Yeah, I'll probably leave a picture of what this used to look like just before I kind of change it up and make it into like an editing station. This is kind of what it looks like from a distance. So this is like my little editing station now. Alright, so let's get over to the rig now. As I told you, I'm using a lot of my DJ equipment as tables right now. As you can see, this is the gloves that I use. Had this for years. Sparkle gloves. Probably the model number. Same thing with the shoes as well. Had this for a few years now. The shoes hold out really well. Extremely lightweight. Extremely. I think that's the lightest pair of shoes I've ever put on in my life. Behind here is my streaming PC on the stand. I will leave all the specs for those who would like to know about it on the website. And behind my streaming PC is my 5-channel power amplifier. This is a Emotiva UPA 500. and this is extremely powerful, pretty decent power amp. It pushes all the 6 butt kickers on the rig. Now let's take it more to the rig. Excuse the handheld vlogging type situation here, but I'm actually using my phone, so alright, so we're on the rig at the moment. Okay, 4 monitors, tablets. Alright, so here we have let's start from the top. We got a Dell S2740L IPS monitor up top. We have 3 MSI. By the way, the Dells are 27 inch, right? So we got 3 32-inch MSI curve. These are optics G32C4s. Sorry, I'm kind of looking reading at the same time. So triple MSIs. 1 10-inch. This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 that I had for a long time. Might as well give it something to do. Here we have the Amazon Kindle Fire, the original version. First colored tablet they ever made. This one is running an Android ROM. This is running a cyanogen mod Android ROM, so I could use it for different things. This one is running. This is stock. This is stock as it came. So the Kindle is running Dash Meter Pro. So all of this is Dash Meter Pro. Sometimes I just use it on the time. So this is Dash Meter Pro. This one here, on the other hand, I think this is running SimHub. Different you can run different profiles and stuff. This particular one here was one that this is one I made. This is available on their website, so you can give it a try out. This has a ton of information. Took my time. Might actually do a separate video on how to build your own. Anyway, keep an eye on the channel for that. Behind here we have FANATEC phone holder. Behind this is what I usually put my cell phone in. Sometimes, according to which car I'm using. We also have the FANATEC Club Sport V2 wheelbase. Works perfectly well. On it is the Forza Motorsport GT rim mounted on the Club Sport Universal Hub. This one is the Universal Hub for PlayStation and PC, not the Xbox. Under there we got FANATEC V3 pedals. As you can see, the speaker behind and the subwoofer, but that speaker is actually on top of the subwoofer box for the surround sound system that's on the rig, which is the Logitech. Excuse the puffs of air in the microphone. This is my usual setup. Anyway, yeah, this is a Logitech Z906 surround sound system. Over here we got the Elgato Stream Deck. Trying to keep the glare off a bit, which comes in really handy because this is actually linked to the streaming PC, not the gaming PC. Over here we got I love this thing. This is one of the first pieces of equipment I've ever bought for my rig. In fact, that was the first thing I ever bought for my rig, way back in the day when it just came out. This is a Derek Spear Designs Race King LED button box. Works perfect. Over there we got a really serious piece of equipment, which is the what do you call that one? Give me 1 second, guys. I have all of this listed on. I know some people like me. I personally like I'm a kind of techie guy. I like specs. But so this is the TC Helicon Go XLR mixer and song vocal effects processor. It's really good. Has tons of song effects. It's crazy. Anyway, we'll probably get into that one day for those who are interested. When it comes to lighting, I have a ton of lights on my rig. In fact, there's one shining up here now, you can see. That's on. There's one on this side, which is off. There's another on the other side, which is off, and there's one shining down on my pedals right now. Let's go around the front of the rig. There's another one here, as you can see, mounted. Really nice. And he's on as well, shining down on the pedals right now. So that's 4 lights on the rig. These little lights are pretty cheap. I think they're about $25 if I'm not mistaken. And they are 7 oak SKPL30. They each have 30 LEDs. Really, really nice. On the other side of the rig, we have the FANATEC shifter, which I really like a lot. Love the shifter. As you see right now, I have it set up for sequential mode. There's a switch, we just flip at the bottom, and we have H pattern. So simple, especially with a rig like this where you have full access to everything. Then of course we have the FANATEC handbrake as well. And all of this is sitting on one of my favorite things ever, which is my Ricmotech APX3000 simulator. Man, I love this rig. Now overall, I actually have a thing for aluminum extrusion. I like aluminum extrusion rigs, but at the same time, honestly, they all kind of look alike. It just looks like a erector set. This rig has some style. That's what I like about it. It really has some style. I am I'm not sure if you guys know, but I am actually had a wood workshop. I love building things out of wood. I built sound systems for people for years. You know, I even built these cases. In fact, right now, if you come over here to my gaming PC, this is the gaming PC here. This is the next passion of mine, actually, building PCs. I love building PCs. I wish I could build a PC every day. Anywho, yeah, the case that is standing on, which is actually the cover for the other case where the streaming PC over there is sitting on. This is actually the case for that, the cover. This goes over the streaming PC and the amplifier. So, might as well use it for a stand for this one. But all this was built by me. Built all of this in my workshop. Here, you can get a little look of what the rig kind of looks like from the front. What monitor mounted above. What I also like about this rig, I mean, there's so much stuff on this rig, and basically everything needs cables. I mean, everything. So you can only imagine the mess of cables that I have. So it took a lot to try to make this look as neat as possible. By the way, as a kind of caught my attention, the same little light, the SKPL30, these work really well. These little lights are mounted on friction arms. There's one here, back out a bit. So there's one mounted there, there's one on the other side, and there's also one up top that I can put in any configuration that I want, as you can see. Well, of course, there's no need for this one behind because of how he is mounted. I don't really need a friction arm for that, which is cool. Save me from buying the fourth one. Man, this rig has now the cup holders. Well, cup holder, as you can see. And yes, yeah, I did have this rig for years. This was one of the first models that Frank came out with. I just keep this this little Allen key kind of close by, just so I could pull the phone cradle off the rig as fast as possible, according to what car I'm driving. Sorry about my finger there. Yeah, I have a little Brainwaves headphone holder here as well, as you can see. It's just a matter of resting my headphones right there. And I also have another one over by the editing station here as well. I'm sorry for jumping around here. As you can see, I've owned this rig for a very long time, years now actually. And yes, I know this is how I keep my stuff. I still have plastic on the seat. As I told you guys, I used to carry this rig around to some trade shows and stuff, to kind of show it off, let people get to learn about simulation. And in Trinidad, some people in Trinidad does not even know that this is a thing, that this even exists. So I keep the plastic on the seat so it wouldn't scratch up my fiberglass. But I always make a joke and say the real owner will take it off. Here we go in the back and the rear of the rig. You see my two rear speakers there for the surround sound. By the way, this is my tripod. It's a cheap tripod that I got can't even remember how many years ago, when I bought a camcorder from Best Buy when I was in Miami. Anyway, yeah, so right now it's holding a GoPro Hero 4 Silver, which is what I use to for my live streams and stuff. As you can see, it's aiming straight at the monitors. So what you see on my live stream is actually coming from this GoPro, which is mounted on this little cheap tripod, which is just perfect for this. Just by chance, in case you're wondering, it's a white balance card for using with my other camera. Yeah, I know lots of people always talk about having a cup holder on a rig. Oh, by the way, this is the extra this is the knob that you usually use for H pattern shifting on the FANATEC. The knob on it right now, it comes with both knobs, but this is the one you usually use for sequential. So as we walk around the rig, as you will notice, there's one butt kicker mounted here. Now this is an optional mount. This butt kicker mount is actually an optional thing that you can buy for these rigs. There's one here in the rear, there's one on the other side, the opposite side, and there's also, let me just go around the front, sorry, I'm being so jerky. Alright, this is the one up front, and there's one on the opposite side as well. So there's 4 on the rig. As you notice the positions, it's representing wheels of the car. So I could feel vibrations to the front, to the rear, or to the right side or left side. So when I go over rumble strips on the right, I actually feel it on the right. If I go over rumble strips on the left, I feel it on the left. Now there's actually one mounted under the seat. There's one that I mounted under the seat recently, and there's one under the pedal, that entire pedal section there. So that's kind of cool. By the way, as I always say, if you are now wanting to get into the butt kicker thing or the transducer thing, as I should say, even if you could only afford one, start with the one under the seat. It makes the most sense because you will get most sensations under your seat. Engine vibration, impact, gear shifts, everything feels really good. So if you could only start with one under there, and it's going to be really, really fun experience. You could always, expand later. For me, I started with the 4 on the rig and then kind of went out from there. Oh, by the way, just in case you're curious, yes, it is a 5-channel amplifier. I have 6 butt kickers on the rig. Now, for those of you who probably caught that, these 4 butt kickers on the rig itself, the 2 on the left and the 2 on the right, are 4 ohm butt kickers because my amplifier is stable at 4 ohms per channel. So what I did, I used 4 of the channels for these 4 butt kickers. I had an extra channel doing nothing. So I just decided, look, I'll order 2 more butt kickers, which is the one under the seat and under the pedal, but those 2 are 2 ohm butt kickers. So I wired those 2 butt kickers in series. So whatever effects I send to the seat, I also send the exact same effects under the pedals. So think about it when you're sitting in your rig. Your butt is in your seat, your feet basically on your pedals. So if you have a butt kicker, a transducer under your seat and under the pedals, you can have a good idea what kind of sensations you're going to be feeling, right? So basically I tune whatever happens, under the seat and the pedals, get the same tuning. Okay, excuse me, I'm kind of trying to keep my eye on this because I'm going to forget a lot of stuff. There's so much tech, and I'm a very techy guy, so there's so much tech specs when it comes to, you know. So for those of you who kind of like me, I'm just curious. You know, I'm trying to keep it, give you as much info as possible. Like I said, everything else will be on the website. For this guy, this gaming PC, I am running a i7 8700K that's overclocked at the moment. Sometimes I just take off the overclock. Right now at the moment it's overclocked again. I'm also running 32 gigs of RAM. It's a Trident. Well, right now, if I take I have the light on this particular. Well, the flash on the phone is on, so it's kind of washing out the colors of the PC, which kind of sucks. But I had to do it because otherwise you wouldn't see certain things. Like when I go in the corner here, for instance, in the dark, you know, this is the light from the phone. So anyway, let's get on to it because I could only record for up to 10 minutes at a time on this phone. Anyway, yeah, so right now I'm running 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB. I'm also running at NZXT Kraken 360mm RAD up top. You mightn't see it. I'm not sure if you're gonna see it, but behind these three fans, there's the radiators up there, up on top. You may see it if I probably put it through the. Here you might actually see it through the. Let's see if you'll see it a bit. It doesn't really matter, but it's there. You probably get a slight look. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go. So I also have one Samsung 970 Evo Plus. That's a NVMe SSD in here. There's also a Samsung 850 Pro 512 gig SSD in there as well. This is running a Asus ROG 1080 graphics card. This is a Strix card. Man, I am so impressed with these cards, you would not believe. And by the way, it's the same card. I actually bought two of these. This was an SLI in my other PC. But so when I built this one, I didn't actually have to use, spend extra money to buy a graphics card. I just took one out of there and bring it over here. Save some money. I also have a wicked ROG 680 graphics card that's ridiculous on new overclocks. But of course, I'm not using that right now. Also have two 980s that I'm not using right now either. Those 980s, I mean, things like that can't really push this amount of screens, this amount of resolution. I'm also using 9 of these fans, which are PC cooler 120mm fans. Really, really good for the money. They're not very expensive. They're not exactly very cheap, but they're not nowhere near some of the expensive fans either. So comes out really good. And this is one of my favorite cases ever. It's really easy to build in, really, really fun to build in. This is the that's not what on the other page. This is the Lian Li 011 Dynamic. It's a mid-tower case, really fun case to build in. Oh, by the way, all of this is sitting on a what motherboard am I using? I'm using a Asus ROG Maximus 10 motherboard for all of this. Really, really, man, I just love this PC. That's one of my probably the most fun PCs I've ever built. This one, on the other hand, is old school. This is really old school. This was the first PC I've ever built, like way back in about 2012 when the Rampage 4 Extreme motherboard came out. This is what I built. Really overkill, honestly. Especially back in the day, this was like crazy overkill. Because this is this particular case is a NZXT Switch 810. Really nice case. It could hold a ton of hard drives. Not the best case for airflow, but it's good. It's not bad. Right now, this one is running a i7 3930K 3930K processor, i7 on a Rampage 4 Extreme motherboard, which is like exactly what it says. It's extreme. There's no need for a motherboard like this for what it's doing. Nowhere near. That's honestly, that's wasted money. But back in the day, I just did it because I could at the time when I was working. Anyway, so this one is running 64 gigs of G-Skill RAM. It's running a Corsair Hydro Series H100 liquid cooler radiator, and this one is also on top for exhausting. This is the only PC I think I actually have in the house that probably running Blu-ray drive, optical drive, just in case. And hey, you never know. You never know. Well, maybe my laptop. My laptop too has a Blu-ray drive as well. But other than the gaming PC has no drive whatsoever. This one has one Samsung 850 Pro 512 gig SSD, which is my C drive. There are also two SanDisk Extreme 240 gig SSDs as well in there. There's also two terabyte Western Digital Caviar Black. Those are spinning drives, hard drives. Really, really good. Had those for years, never had an issue. And I'm running about 10 minimum of those red fans that you're seeing there. Those are NZXT FZ140 millimeter case fans. And if you notice, there's also the exact same Asus ROG Strix 1080 graphics card. Now really, for what this PC does, which is basically my streaming PC, you don't need a 1080 graphics card. It's not heavily dependent on graphics. Actually, I could easily throw let's say one of my 980s in here, even the 680 for that matter, and do what it has to do just fine. Because I could even probably use this extra 1080 and put it in the other PC as SLI, but yeah, whatever. I just use one each because I have it. Use what you have. In all honesty, with these monitors, the amount of FPS that I do get with a 1080 ain't bad at all. Yes, I would love to have a better graphics card, so I get better frames, because these are G-Sync compatible monitors, and these could go up to 165 FPS, which is pretty cool. Right now I run them at 120 so I'm trying my best to remember all this stuff. Yeah, so guys, I know I'm not going to remember everything. There's no way. And like I said, I'm a very techie kind of a dude. I like specs. I like, that when I look at a video, I like to hear, specs. Give me specs, give me model numbers and that kind of stuff. So for those of you who are into that kind of thing, all the information will be, more information I should say, will be on the website. Let me give you a little idea. This was so tricky. Sometimes, some of the smallest things that would take the most time. If you look behind here, I'll give you a little peek behind the monitor. So this is behind the monitor. Behind the triple monitors on the board. And this is where I use two-sided tape to stick all of the power supplies. As you can see there, those are the three power supplies, the ones with the kind of right and branded, and those are the three for the MSIs, and this dark one is for the Dell up on top. This little thing you're seeing here, I have a video coming up with this in a bit. This is actually a little case from C4 Labs. Really, really cool. That is for an Arduino Nano. Alright, so yeah, this little Arduino board is used to run this LED rev lights that I made a while back. I know I promised to make a video about that and show you guys how to make it, but I could not figure out a way how to show you guys everything and explain it to you the way I would like to. Now that I'm doing this video, actually I came up with a little idea how to do, capture my audio. That's how I could walk around right now and still sound kind of fairly normal. It's because I'm actually using my usual headset and microphone that I would normally use on the rig for my live streams. I'm actually using it right now, and it's recording, like I said, into the Zoom H1 recorder. So that's kind of freed me up a bit to move out, to be mobile, move around a bit. Anyway guys, yeah, I have, keep an eye on the channel. I'm definitely going to be doing a dedicated review of this rig. I don't know why, I find it so strange that you don't really see much information about this rig out there in the wild, and this is one of the most impressive rigs I've ever seen or ever touched. This is my third rig, by the way. This is not my first rig. This is my third. I actually built my first rig. If you want to see more information about my very first rig that I built myself, it was actually from plans that I bought from FANATEC as well. I will leave information about that if you would like to build one for yourself, for that matter. If you have a little space, because trust me, that rig doesn't pick up very much space. If you, oh, by the way, just in case you're curious, there's the other bucket car. And some cables that power in the bucket cars as well. Anyway, yeah, like I said, if you want if you're curious about getting out, because you see some of these wheels that we use nowadays, the kind of equipment that is out now, especially with things like direct drive wheels becoming the norm, you know, and the new direct drive wheels, for instance, like what FANATEC came out with, the CSL-DD and that kind of stuff, you know, it would be good to have it mounted on a dedicated rig, not just a table. You know, in fact, that's where I started. So don't think I'm talking down at all, because I actually started off on a table as well. I started off on a table with my G27. Anyway, guys, so guess if you have any questions, you can always hit me up in the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer. If you're wondering about, you know, this 2PC streaming setup, if you kind of want to probably get into streaming or would like to get into streaming, hit me up there too, then no problem. Yeah, no, that's made it like very messy, right? Trying to keep some information for you guys. Yeah, so let's see, the light is back on. Let me come up from above a bit so you guys won't see the light. So this is kind of what I work with at the moment. And to tell you the honest truth, for me, this is like a massive blessing for me, because this is something that I could not afford. Technically, I still can't afford it, but you know, this is something that's happened over time, over years. It took years for me to get this. This is not something that I just went out and bought yesterday. This is like over probably, you know, so from 2012 to now, it's probably over almost 10 years. It's about 9 years or something, about, you know, to get to this point. So it took me like 9 years to get to this point too. So yeah, 9 years. And I mean, if you think about it, this is not even like what I would consider top of the line equipment. You know, it does the job for me. You know, like these monitors, for instance. Now, you know, so you know, you have to do with what you could use, what you could have, what you have. Make do with what you have, as they say, until you get what you want. So yeah. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, keep an eye on the channel. I'm definitely going to do a dedicated review of this rig, because this rig is just one of the best. And that's, oh, again, in case you're curious, yeah, I built this stand from scratch. This was actually for my other rig. This little stand is actually for my other rig. But I didn't. When I came into the room here with this rig, I did not have anywhere to put my keyboard and mouse, so had to repurpose it for a bit. I guess I should probably paint it in black, right? For it to match is the only odd thing in the room. So I guess I should probably paint it. I just kept it this color because I guess sentimental reasons. I guess because my very first rig is actually in the same color, in that color. So you know, if I was to put it next to the rig, which I still have, by the way, it's in storage, so in my storeroom. So if I would want to pull that rig out and put this next to it, you know, so let's be like a set again. So who knows? Maybe I could find like a foldable way, articulating arm or something that I could mount on this rig for my keyboard and mouse. I mean, really, ideally, this rig was really built in a way to put a keyboard with a trackpad right here in the space, but I use this space up for my handbrake. Alright guys, so that's a little look at what I'm working with at the moment. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you enjoyed the video, don't consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to hit that little bell icon in order to be notified when we go live. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.